Hello, everyone, once again. Thank you for joining the call. We're excited to have you here. So today, we wanted to share some knowledge or share some information with our partners and prospects on this webinar. So we're talking today about technology and how it affects your pharma business. My name is Nkese once again. I'm the Business Development Manager at One Health. Okay, so here in One Health, a few of us know about One Health. We've been doing business with One Health for some time now. So we try to bring pharmacy care, farm care to people with the use of technology. And because of this reason, we like to ensure that most of our partners and people who want to do business with us enjoy this benefit or benefit from the solutions that is available out there for everyone. So I have with me on this discussion, Clara. Clara is a pharmacist. She's actually the head of pharma operation here at One Health. Clara will be talking with us about how technology benefits this business that we are in. So she's going to, let's just go through the next slide. So part of our conversation today would be to introduce technology to all of us here. So we'll talk about technology in different sectors of the industries. We're also going to talk about how it benefits our pharma business. We're going to tell you some solutions in the pharma industry as well, and then the benefit of tech itself in this business. Then we know also that we always, every time new opportunities or new things come around, there's always people pushing back, there are always challenges here and there. So we'll delve into that as well and share some ideas that we have found during the process of doing business using technology. At the end of it, we'll open the floor for people to ask questions and give feedback to what we have talked about or discussed here. So introducing Clara, as I mentioned earlier, Clara is the head of operations at One Health. She's had a couple of years of pharma business. She's worked in community pharmacy for a couple of years. And she's also been in an environment where technology is being used in the pharmacy business as well. So apart from just taking, walking, pharmacies and all that, Clara also enjoyed doing other things. I think she mentioned some time ago about swimming and several other things that she gets involved with. So I'll leave this, hand it over to Clara to take over the presentation. Once again, welcome everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Nkese, for that warm welcome. And thank you everyone for joining us in this webinar. I'm excited to be here, and I hope you are too. Okay, so like Nkese introduced earlier, my name is Clara Zudo, and I'm the head of pharma operations in One Health. Today we'll be looking at the impact of technology on pharma business. We'll be sharing whether there are benefits, whether there are profits to technology in pharma business. But before I go on, I would like to tell us a story. So a woman went to a hospital with her ailing son. On getting there, there was a very long queue, and she waited for about 6 hours to see a doctor. Afterwards, prescription was issued to her. Unfortunately, the hospital did not have the medication that was prescribed. So she went to nearby pharmacies, but none of them had it. Eventually, she went home and checked in the pharmacies beside where she lived, but no pharmacy had that medication. She was really flustered as her son needed the medication urgently. Eventually, a friend recommended the pharmacy at the far end of another state to her. problem was that the pharmacy had no online presence and there was no phone number to reach them. So she hopped into a bus and went to the location that was given to her. She got there and gave them the prescription. And they started looking for the medication in the pharmacy. They weren't sure whether they had it. They kept asking each other, is it available? Do we have it? Do we not have it? And they kept searching for like 2 hours. In fact, they brought papers, looking through, going through the papers, trying to check whether maybe it came in some time back. And before you know it, 2 hours had gone. They eventually found it and the woman purchased it and left, and came back home to give her medication to the son. So this is our typical patient or customer in the community pharmacy, right? And from this story, you can find out that Nigeria, or rather healthcare in Nigeria, is really faced with a lot of problems, right? Talk about the accessibility of quality medications, talk about the slow operational processes, most things are done manually. You talk about the lack of technological adoptions, even though they can help with some of these problems. So let's go to the fun facts about technology. But hopefully, after this presentation, we'll be able to find solutions to some of these issues that we have in Nigeria, as well as in the pharma business as well. So the pharmaceutical industry is one of the most profitable industries in the world, right? And with a total global pharmaceutical sales exceeding $1.2 trillion in 2020. Of course, United States has the largest market share, which is about 45%, while Africa has only 3%. Technology is also a major contributor to global economy, generating over $5 trillion, according to Statista in 2021. There is also a 3D medication that has been approved by FDA in 2015, a drug called Spritam. It was manufactured by Aprecia and is used to treat seizures. And it is the world's first 3D printed medication. So technology is taking us to places. All right, so next slide, please. We've been talking about technology. So what is technology? Technology in the simplest of terms is any tool, technique, method, processes that helps make our life easy, right? Or rather make our life easier. It helps to solve practical problems. It helps to improve efficiency. I mean, when we talk about technology, what comes to your mind? Say something as simple as toothbrush and toothpaste is actually technology, as funny as that sounds. Otherwise, we may still be using chewing stick, to get our teeth cleaned. So there's also compass. Some example, very common examples. Compass, it's used for direction, which has currently been replaced by Google Maps, right? And you have reclining chairs, when someone wants to get comfortable while sitting, they use reclining chairs. Now it's being replaced, or maybe not still. People use more of couch nowadays. Then you have the refrigerators, right? They help us keep our food, store it more like, keep it good and store it. You have television, these ones are more advanced, right? Televisions, our smartphones, cars, robotics, and AI. But really, technology is just anything that makes our life simple or easier. Next slide. So technology is used in different sectors, right? It can be used in finance. As one example of that is the Kenyan M-Pesa, right? So it's the Africa's most successful mobile money service for the banked and unbanked. So what that means is that they provide financial services to millions of people who have mobile phones but have no bank accounts. They serviced over 51 million customers across 7 African countries. So you also have online trading and cryptocurrency. Of course, we are very familiar with those ones. Then you have, it's also used in agriculture. In agriculture, you have things like drones. So drones are used to spray pesticides and fertilizers, make the spray more precise, and also use it to collect data and collect data on the crop health or monitor the growth, because some of these drones, they will insert cameras in it. So you see that can sit at the comfort of your house or in a particular place and know what is going on in your farm. There is also biotech being used in agriculture, and this has really helped to develop genetically modified crops and make products available. And there is also smart farming systems, which uses sensor and data analytics to optimize farm operations. So you can see that technology is used in various places. It's also used in education. I mean, thanks to technology, learning has been, has advanced. Talk about the learning management systems such as Udemy, EDX, Coursera, learning platforms where educators deliver their course materials. There are also educational apps like BNF, Medscape, MEC manuals. There is also digital textbooks which provide interactive features like quizzes, and they also come in different formats. They can come as PDF or EPUB. Example of them is Amazon Kindle textbooks and Chegg as well. There are also online collaboration tools like Google Doc, Slack. There is also being applied in businesses. Some examples are e-commerce, which allow people to sell their products and services online. There is also business analytics, which is just simply using data analysis to provide insights to customer behavior and learn market trends, and also for operations. You have the CRM, which is customer relationship manager. There is also marketing automation, which automates repetitive marketing tasks, such as email campaigns and social media posts. So in medicine, which is close to home, is used in telemedicine, which is simply using video conferencing and other communication tech to provide medical care remotely. And there are also wearable technologies like our smartwatches and fitness trackers, which monitor vital signs and physical activities. You also have medical imaging, such as X-rays, CT scans, to provide detailed images of internal organs and tissues. In optometry, there's also contact lens tech, which is really, this is actually on the rise. It reduces the frequency with which you put on your eyeglasses. So in the pharma business, right? Next slide, please. So in the pharma business, you talk about its usage in clinical research, like the high throughput screenings, the genomics, the computer-aided drug design, which is just simply a computational tool to predict properties of potential drug candidates and optimize their activity. There is also used in wholesales for logistics and supply chain management, for electronic ordering and invoicing. It's also used in pharma manufacturing, like the 3D printing that I mentioned earlier. AI is also used. Is also applied in barcoding and RFID, which is a tech used to track pharma products from the point of manufacture to the point of sale to prevent counterfeit. So what are the possible benefits of this technology in the pharma industries? So number one is that it increases revenue. How does it do that? So technology provides quite a number of benefits. So it widens. So when you adopt technology, you're not limiting yourself to the customers within your vicinity, right? You're not looking at only your walk-ins. You're trying to get to customers everywhere, right? So it helps you to reach more customers, and in doing that, increase your revenue. And in also doing that, it widens your range of services. So if you're reaching more people, they could have diverse needs, right? So it will help to, it will help you to widen your range of services that you're providing to this customer based on what you have observed. So, and it also help you, think about some services like management therapy, medication therapy. It also saves costs. So I know it can be very annoying when you're sitting down in a pharmacy and a customer walks in and, asks for a medication. Medication 1, it's not available, it's out of stock. Medication 2 is not available, is out of stock. Medication 3 is not available, is out of stock. So, not adopting tech could really make you lose some revenue, right? So if you when you adopt tech, it helps you to manage a lot of things in the pharma business. Now, the major one is the OS, which is usually the headache of community pharmacy, the out of stocks, right? So in adopting tech like inventory management, you'll be able to not just track your inventory, you'll be able to track your expiry product to avoid wastage. You'll be able to set your reorder levels to also avoid constant stock out. So you plug those holes that could potentially contribute to you losing any form of sales. So it also improves accuracy. So, gone are the days when we do financials, manually, or do bookkeeping manually. It takes a lot of time, and it also, when you do it manually, there are high chances of errors. So technology helps us to, keep an accurate bookkeeping and financials. And also in doing that, it saves time. It saves your staff time to focus more on, pressing matters, and it also gives you an accurate idea or an accurate state of where your business is. So it also enhances communication within the healthcare sector, as well as internally, and to your customer as well. So when you employ tech like the WhatsApp business and emails, you'll be able to communicate better internally, with your staff. You'll be able to also communicate better with your customers, as well as, so when you collaborate with other healthcare providers, there will also be a better communication between the different healthcare providers. And also there is increased accessibility, right? So increased accessibility to your pharmacy would make your pharmacy more visible and more accessible to people, to a lot of people, unlike when you're not using tech. It makes you very much accessible, and that brings in more customer for you, which also means more revenue. So by leveraging on things like social media and creating a very strong online presence, and also making allowance for online prescription ordering and home delivery services as well. So there is also an advantage of data and predictive analysis. By this, you'll be able to identify trends and patterns of medication usage, right? So you'll be able to know what to stock more, what to stock less, what to plan to stock in the future based on the analysis that you get. And I mean, looking at all of this, you can see that when you apply technology, there is no, you don't lose out on anything, right? It increases profitability. I mean, you're able to save a lot of cost. You're able to free up time for your, for your health provider, for your pharmacist, for your health techs to focus on what you want them to focus more on, and not, be dulled by, repetitive things that could easily be automated. So some of the example of some of these solutions, right, in community pharmacy include the inventory management and cloud solutions, which I mentioned earlier. Some examples are things like ePOS, iVend, and QuickBooks. I mean, there are lots of them. It is not limited to this. There are lots of them. So there is also the Digiceuticals, which is really proving to be a big business right now, and investors are really pouring out work on it. I mean, according to data in 2011, there have been nearly $40 billion, on digital startups based on this Digiceuticals. So example is some wellness apps. An example is our own app, our One Wellness app. And there's also supply chain management. Example is our own PMover. So it's a platform for, moving medications from one point to another. There is also data analytics. These ones are very simple that you can use in pharmacy. I mean, the Excel sheets, trackers, just to make your processes easier and more efficient. There is also, in the communication space, you have things like WhatsApp Business, chat box, automated chat box, social media and Slack for communication internally and externally. There's also bulk purchasing and online ordering, which I spoke about earlier. So for bulk purchasing, you're not purchasing singly, you're purchasing in bulk, and also making your orders online. So you're not manually recording your OS. You're just or you don't have to physically go to a place to purchase your medication. All you need to do is just get your OS ready and send it electronically and get it delivered to you. So now there are a lot of tech startups in Nigeria. In case you're wondering, there are lots of them. It's not limited to these ones here, but these are a few of them, and they've really been breaking ground in healthcare space. So some of them, of course, we are the very first example, the One Health, which we are an online pharmacy. In case you don't know, we are an online pharmacy health platform. We provide access to medicines as well as tech solutions, such as PMover, which I've mentioned before, the One Wellness app. So you have also partner with pharmacies, to realize or rather to make this accessibility a reality. And you have the doctor, which is also a hospitals to order money their inventory of the pharmaceuticals and medicine. There's also medicine, next hospitals and pharmacies to verify patients. There is healing health. This is a digital health allows them to share records, schedule. There's also Reliance, which offers affordable health insurance plans to both individuals, families, and organizations. There's also the 54G. They are focused on improving healthcare. In Africa, there is the Life Bank. They use tech to connect hospitals and blood banks with blood donors. There is also My Pharmacy, which provides pharmacy management solutions to lots of pharmacies, such as after sales, people development, and There's also the M-Pharma, which provide innovative financing and pharmacies and patients as well. There's also this seamless HR, which is the HR management software to help organizations that automate plans, onboarding, and management performance. So basically, like I said, all of this is just to help every startup health tech is, in one way or the other, driving solutions, tech solutions that would benefit the patients, benefit pharmacies, benefit hospitals, tackling the different issues or challenges with healthcare in Nigeria. Next slide, please. So we've been talking about tech for a while now. So what could be the challenges of adopting this tech in the community pharmacy? I mean, we know that we've been hearing about tech in community pharmacy or in farm business, but some of us are like, okay, we're not fully interested, maybe because we don't really know much about it or we don't see the need. Hopefully this webinar would, give you the information that you need. So some of these challenges are lack of infrastructure, such as facility and internet connectivity, which is a huge problem in Nigeria. There is also a high cost of implementation. There is also training and support staff. There is also resistance to change, people not wanting to adapt to the new things. And there's also integrating with existing systems. So you might be wondering, okay, so if I want to adapt it now, how does it fit into what I already have? Not a problem, we have some solutions for you. Next slide, please. So with respect to infrastructure like electricity and internet connectivity, you can think of solar power, you could think of inverters, you could think of MTN 5G, depending if your location is fantastic for that connectivity. There is also the fiber network, so you could explore these options. There is also the training and support. SAF's training, I mean, if you're not already using tech in your business, you're really losing out, and you could adopt this to make work efficient for both yourself as well as the people that you're working with. For your staff, they would also benefit from it because, I mean, they focus more on, they leave the redundant work or repetitive tasks to focus on more profitable tasks. So for training and support there, you need to orientate and train your staff on technology use. They're quite simple. It's not the big ones. You can start with making instead of using papers to document things, put them online, use Google Sheets, use Excel to document things, use them for your calculations to avoid errors and lots of it. And given that the cost of tech is also high, you could think of loans and credit facility because it pays in the long run. It always pays, right? And there's also a need for reorientation and you being adaptable. The world is changing and it's going to continue changing. It's not going to wait for you, right? So the best you can do for you and your business is to adapt to the in thing right now, which is tech. And the good thing is you don't have to start from scratch, right? All these tech startups that I mentioned earlier, you could partner with them. You really do not have to start from the scratch. If you want to find, that's fantastic, but you really do not have to start from the scratch. You could partner with some of these startups like us, right, to provide you with some information. You could expand your business. You could expand your business, you walk in. I mean, I know there are lots of cases where customers walk in and, they come to they come to you because you're usually the first point of call that they come to. And, you know, when you access or collect the person, you find out that, okay, this is really beyond what can be handled in the pharmacy, and the person would need to, you know, go to a hospital. Right there and there, you can actually, you know, have a telemedicine, right? You can just reach out to one of these partners and have your patient get the care they need, instead of sending the person to a hospital where the person is probably going to go and stand in a long queue, right? Like the scenario that I painted initially. They could get that access, that service right there and then prescription will be made and the person will get it. You see, in doing that, you've succeeded in increasing your retaining your customer. I mean, you would always be their first point of call. So they're not worried that, okay, when I go, they might most likely send me back to the hospital and they'll have to reschedule probably another day to get to hospital and all that. Tech has made all these things very, very easy, right? And even for your operations, you know, you don't have to keep doing things in a manual way or keep doing things in a manual way and wasting time, right, on tasks that you can easily be automated. So another thing I would also advise is to ask for recommendations and even testimonials. You can request for that with whoever it is that you want to partner with to ensure that they are going to serve you very well. So these are some of the useful links you can go to, to train your staff in case you have not started using tech already. You could reach out to or rather use services in LinkedIn, like the LinkedIn learnings. You could, train them on the use of Excel. You could also even give them some data analysis, ask them to, engage them in data analysis courses to also, when people have information, generally, they tend to really understand business better. And when you're talking about, how they need to reduce expenses and all that is, or they need to stock A instead of B, they already know that because they know that you're coming from a data-informed decision, right? So that's it. So next slide, please. All right, so that's all for now. Thank you very much. I hope you've been able to get one or two information regarding tech in your businesses. We'll take some questions now. Nkese, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Clara, for that detailed explanation about what we do with technology in the pharma business. So I see a hand up here. Mr. Livinus Okoro, you want to share something, you want to ask a question? Please go ahead. Can you hear me? If you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, so while we're waiting for Mr. Livinus to speak, if anybody else has a question, you can either ask or put it on the chat box. Okay, so somebody asked a question. Clara, somebody's asking how easy it is to integrate or apply technology into her, the female, her health care business.
Sorry, take that again, please.
Then how easy is it for me to apply technology into my healthcare business?
Okay, it's actually very easy. So the question is, what are you doing currently? Because the techs are not the big things. We usually see them as those big things. It's as small as, okay, so how do you do your inventory? Is it automated or do you manually do it? How do you do your bookkeeping, your financials? How do you expand, like what resources are you giving to your customers? What value add are you giving to them, right? Any extra value add, like them being able to access a doctor or access a lab or medication therapy management. So it's quite easy. And if you're already using tech, like if you already have an inventory management, or if you don't at all, so it's quite easy. It's very easy to integrate. But if you already have one, but it's probably not working well for you, or you want it better, of course, you have to ask questions when you want to get a new one. Ask for demo to be done so that you see whether it is what you need. So it's very, very simple. Always ask questions. It's always about asking questions. Find out there are different platforms where pharmacies meet. You could ask your colleagues in the meeting what they do, also to find out how you be able to better your own business. And like I also said, you have a lot of farm techs, or should I say healthcare techs, that you could always partner with to provide a lot of solutions for you that will be very beneficial to your customers.
Okay, thank you very much, Clara. So if anybody else has a question or input, you could send that here. However, I have also posted from the slide we shared earlier. So I've posted some links where you could get some learnings from. I have a LinkedIn learning link on the chat side where you could just go through it and get a few information or things you could do to apply technology to your business. And also I've shared, if you're interested in the One Wellness app to know where it is and how it works, you can actually go onto the Google Play Store. The link is also here on the chat box, and download it. It's a very efficient app where we use to monitor and track our patient or customers, living with chronic diseases and looking for care. So you have a caregiver on there talking to you every time. You get your refill when you need to get your refill. And if any question you have to ask your caregiver, you have it. You can do that. It's a user-friendly, easy to use app that you can use while on your phone, on the go as well. So if we don't have any more questions, we appreciate your time. We see you all. We appreciate that you're partnering with us to support our business in ensuring that we deliver medications to our customers, our clients nationwide. Sorry, 1 minute, please. Okay, so I just got a question in here. Clara, so somebody asked, are the tools expensive?
Okay, so it depends on the one that you want to engage in. Some of them are are free, some are not. So it depends on the one that you want to engage in. Like we when I was speaking on the challenges of adopting tech, one is cost, right? There are some that are really expensive, and there are some that are very free, depending on the ones that you're looking at. So it could be free, it could be expensive, depending on what you're looking at.
Okay. Okay, so we have another question. Somebody's asking, do you have any software that you can recommend?
Okay, my question would be, what kind of software? There are different softwares. Are you talking about inventory management software? I mean, there are lots of softwares. So the question is it for inventory management? Please let me know so I can give an elaborate answer to you.
Okay. Okay, so since the person hasn't given a specific one, can we give examples of the one we use, like common to the pharmacy business, like the inventory, financials, and probably ordering?
Oh, okay. So for inventory management, some of the examples, you could use EPOS, you could use Store App, you could use iVend, you could use QuickBooks, depending on what you actually need, because they have different features. So depending on what you want, you could go for either of them. Then for finances, of course, some of these inventory management actually come with it. Like they have the software already in the inventory management. So it's like an ERP instead. So it covers the inventory, it covers the HR, it covers accounting. So it's all encompassing. If you go for the example of those ones are the likes of iVend and Store App. And also QuickBooks as well.
All right, Clara, thank you very much. So at the end of this webinar, we would also share an email to all our attendees with options you could pick from. We have a few free options that we'll share to you. However, with these basic options, which are free, they're also payable. So you have to upgrade to get some added advantage or some additional thing to do on it. You have to upgrade, and the upgrade is paid. But however, there are still basic options that you can use freely if you are just doing basic things, you know, with those softwares and applications. So we'll share that on an email after the webinar, so you could browse through it, or make a choice for whichever one you prefer. All right, thank you very much again. We've come to the end of our webinar today. We intend to do this a lot more, because One Health is not just about selling medication and all that. We're also about training and also ensuring that our partners are almost like we are working together, both not just selling medicines, but also knowing what we know. No? So as we're moving, you're moving with us. One is a very fast-paced company, and we want all our partners to be same as we are. So thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.